Welcome back to Minecraft Survival. Today I did something a little different, and that is I actually already have our project planned out. And that is I want to give these villagers you just saw me with the beginning of their home, which is going to be this trading hall. And this trading hall has a lot of little details I want to add, like these tunnels, but that'll all make sense a little bit later. But today, I just want to get started on the design, the building, the copper, the deep slate, the pale oak. Now, before we can even start to begin gathering resources, we actually need to prevent this copper from oxidizing. So, the step to do that is going to be creating a bee farm. And of course, the first thing to building a beehive is the bees. So I've ran around this forest and I've collected 6 of them, I think. But if we keep going down to the forest, there's a beehive down here. So I'm gonna smoke out the hive to make sure there's no bees in there. I think I already took them all. And then we're gonna get some shears and like that honeycomb. And we need a place to build the bee farm. So I want to build a structure that kind of looks like this one, just a little bit smaller, well, probably circular. But of course, there's no space to put that, so I'm gonna build a little structure right here, expand this platform, so there's a spot for our bees to live in. Now, this is what I landed on for the bee house. It's just like a little smaller version of the big greenhouse. And we're going to be able to fit probably about 4 of the hives in here. So this one will fill up and I'll just make more and more. But now we need to do the redstone part of this. And in order to do that, I need comparators, which require quartz. So that means we need to make a trip to the nether. So I used some of the diamonds to make our first diamond tool, diamond pickaxe. And I'm going to go mine some obsidian to make a portal. Now I have everything out of my inventory. I'm going to build the portal. So we'll light the portal and hope for a good spawn. Oh, this is actually really good if I can just find some quartz in one of these caves. Okay, this is a little bit riskier than I want to, but I think I can just scale down here. And I can collect these quartz down here. Just gonna yoink these guys up. And then we'll get out. Now with all those nether materials, the bee farm is all hooked up with the right redstone and full of bees and flowers, of course, and it's producing a really good amount of honeycomb really fast. Now that our bee farm is all hooked up, the next part of this process is going to be to collect some materials. And that first material is going to be pale oak. And if you can see way off in the distance, there's a bit of a grayish hue back there, which I think should be a pale garden. So I'm gonna go get on a boat and take an adventure out there. So I made it to the Pale Oak Forest, and you can't really see because there's no clear vantage points, and we're in some mountainous area, but the base is actually just right over there. And I actually had forgotten how the sky changes in the Pale Oak Forest, which is super cool. But I'm gonna go ahead and chop all this up and get some saplings, as well as collect all the other things the Pale Oak Forest has to offer. And then we'll be on to our next resource. With those saplings now, I made it back home, and I'm gonna get to chopping this pale oak. I think I need about 6 stacks, which should be nice and quick. Now that I've collected all the pale oak, I'm gonna go down to the strip mines and mine a little bit of deep slate need. And we got a bunch of tough willows down there, and in the process I even collected 11 extra diamonds, so that's a nice perk. The next big resource I need to collect is copper, And I've set up this dripstone lava farm to fuel the furnaces for the copper, but I'm just gonna hit the strip mines because I don't have a better way to collect copper. So this is the mine where I got all the copper from. There's a lot of strip mines, and I only found a few caves. So there was a lot of mining, but I was able to collect 10 stacks, which is all we need for this project. After that copper mining and a little bit of glass collection, we have all the resources we need to begin building the trading hall. Now, this might look a little confusing, but I've used Lightmatica to copy that trading hall into the world here. So this is a blueprint almost of what it's going to look like. And then if we take some copper and bricks here, if we place them, you can see it kind of changes colors. And then the red is where blocks need to be broken. So I'm going to use this to mine out all of the spots and place all the blocks they need. This build turned out really good in the actual survival world, I think. Of course, we still have the redstone to hook up and all the copper golems down here, but that is going to have to come at a later date. But I want to start working on building a pumpkin and melon farm that we can hook up into here so I can, that is my main source of emeralds. Now, in order to get started on that, though, I need to go down into the mines again to get some redstone because I don't have any left. Now, with that redstone and a quick trip to the nether and a lot of exploring for some pumpkins and melons to get the farm started, we have the few materials that we need to actually get building. So I want to put it down here in this area so I can hook it straight up to 2 chests, probably right about here, that I can fill with pumpkins and melons and take from. So I'm gonna hit a time lapse and you can watch me struggle to remember how to build a pumpkin and melon farm. Got the pumpkin and melon farms all set up and I got them feeding into these chests. As you can see, we're making progress. I could hook this up to an auto crafter at some point, but honestly just don't want to do that right now. And I've got a mod that lets me use invisible item frames, so that's how these are just floating like that. Now back here, this side is pumpkins and this side is melons, and we've got tracks that delivered the items to the hoppers up here, which feed to the chests, as well as it collects the drops from when the pistons break them. Now, with all the mining I've done in this episode, I've collected a fair amount of diamonds, which should be enough for us to make a full set diamond armor. Helmet, boots, pants, and a chest plate. And then we still have 18 diamonds left, so I'm gonna make a sword and another pickaxe. So maybe we can get a silk touch. And now, well, this may not be my original set of armor. I've gone through a lot of iron armor. And this barrel is my one of the original sets of armor and one of my original iron swords. So I'm going to take these out and I'm going to put them on this armor stand. And I'm going to put the sword in this item frame. Now with the rest of the diamonds, I'm going to make an enchanting table. And I've collected a few bookcases, which should be enough to get us to level 30. I have 30 levels, and I'm gonna enchant my helmet. I'm gonna do protection, fire protection, and thorns. I had to go get more XP, but I'm gonna finish enchanting and do protection. That's good enchant. Protection. Okay. And do sharpness and knockback. I'm gonna do silk touch. That's good. And then unbreaking and efficiency. Okay, I'm happy with that. I think that's all pretty good enchants right there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.